How long has it been since you felt a level of contagious, infectious, unflappable, unstoppable happiness? Well, maybe your answer is all the time. If so, God bless you. But if you're like most folks, the answer is, well, it's been a while. I used to be happy, but then life took its toll. Joy can seem like such a fragile thing, here one day and then scattered tomorrow by the winds of a storm. Still, we keep searching for it, but fewer of us are finding it. So, what's the answer? How can we make happiness happen in our lives? I think the findings of a study conducted a few years ago sheds light on the subject. A team of researchers found that happy people devote their time to family and friends and nurture those relationships. They are also the first to help others. Are you seeking joy? Then do good for someone else. Happiness happens when you give it away. Jesus' words were spot on when he said, "It is better to give than receive." Now, he was accused of many things, but he was never described as a grump. And people didn't groan when he appeared or duck for cover when he entered the room. He spoke candidly about sin and death and the needs of the human heart, but he did so with hope. He brought joy to the people of first century Palestine, and he has enlisted you and me to bring joy to the people of this generation. Not an easy task. The people in our world are moody, fickle, and stubborn, and that just describes my wife's husband. If we are going to find the joy that comes through giving it away, we need a plan. Fortunately, the Bible has a lot to say about finding joy and the act of sharing it. The New Testament contains 59 one another statements that serve as practical principles for making happiness happen. I've grouped them in this study into a list of 6. In this session, we start with one of the most basic of these principles, but also one that serves as a gateway to the others. It's the principle of accepting one another. One of the most difficult relationship questions is what to do with your opposite you. You know the one. It's the person with whom you fundamentally disagree. You drive a hybrid, he chugs around in a gas-guzzling truck. You vote red, she votes blue. You follow different value systems. You embrace different philosophies. You adhere to different codes of behavior. Your opposite you can drain your joy tank and create tension, especially if the person is your next-door neighbor, boss, or, as in the story we are about to hear, your co-worker.
So several years ago, I had just had a brand new baby. I think she was 4 months old when we found out that my mom was sick. And very quickly, she went just from us finding out that she was sick, and she passed away. I was also in a new job that year, so it was new job, new baby. My mom had just passed away. I was trying to be there as support for my family, who was also dealing with all that at the same time, trying to, be there for my own little family with my new baby. And it was a lot to take on from a day-to-day basis. Just my mom was very close to me, and so to not have her support or even to be able to call her and ask her questions on what am I supposed to do with my daughter, I didn't have that outlet. It was really hard to have that happiness that I should have had at that time. It was hard for me to be that happiness for other people, to share that happiness. It was a dark time where I wish I could have had that joy about that time in my life with my daughter. I would describe my job as pretty stressful and a pretty hefty amount of work. So I threw myself into my work, and I had a lot of responsibilities, and so I was spending a lot of time just working and writing and doing the things that I needed to do to just get my job done. Well, actually in this job, I do have to collaborate quite a bit with other people, And that goes very well with people who like to follow my schedule and get things done on my timeline. With people that weren't as easy to work with, not making their timelines or making my life more difficult, I feel like it's just in my personality to pull back and just not interact with them as much. That's typically what I did with, some coworkers that didn't exactly mesh with the way that I tended to work. I had a specific coworker who was a little bit difficult to work with. We were responsible for projects together, and I found myself, pulling a lot of the weight. I really felt like it was a huge drain on me, and any little bit of joy that I had left, they were kind of just squashing that. It was really hindering any little bit of happiness that I had.
It's hard to know the best way to respond to the people who represent your opposite you. Do you ignore them, leave the room when they enter so you don't say something you later regret? Do you share a meal and discuss your differences? Do you dismiss your differences? How do you find and show acceptance towards someone when you'd rather show them the door?